Murder on the beat, so it's not nice.
For this life I cannot change. It is deep off in the main. Eminem, sweet like candy cane. Drop the top, pop it, let it bang. For this life I cannot change. It is deep off in the main. Eminem, sweet like candy cane. Drop the top, pop it, let it bang. Drop the top, play hide and seek. Jump inside, jump straight to the lake. Take the sip, feel just how I be. On freeway, but no ain't nothing free. Lace, it's busting bills, but still ain't nothing changed. You in the mob, soon as you rock the chain. She caught the waves, just thumbing through my brain. Heat up, baby, I just heat up. DJ love it, not a baby, it's a must. It's stuff, you know how to keep me up. I see like I for this life I cannot change. It is deep off in the main. Eminem, sweet like candy cane. Drop the top, pop it, let it bang. For this life I cannot change. It is deep off in the main. Eminem, sweet like candy cane. Drop the top, pop it, let it bang. All the ones, all the chains piled on the mantle. All the dogs, low creep right behind me in the phantom. Never go dip on the set, stay Santana. Run it back, turn the lights on when I hit up Green Lantern. Pot of frost for the dogs down to Atlanta. In the cut, in Medusa, lay low, yeah, I might be. Roll up, help me calm down when I'm moving high speed. If I send one, need to text back, cause you know what I need. Oh, please. Oh, me. Oh, my. We've been moving for some time. Flexing, trying to exercise. But this life I cannot change. It is deep off in the main. Eminem, sweet like candy cane.
Okay, Ayush, we can start.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Shelly. So hi guys, good evening. My name is Ayush. I work here in Pratilipy as a software engineer. And today is part 5 of our series in which we talk about how some of the stuff that we build and what did it take to build it. So let's talk about how the Pratilipy iOS app was launched. So firstly, Pratilipy when came up with an app, so it was purely made for Android, and the target audience that we had mostly had an Android phone, so we didn't think of making an iOS app at the start. So then the team tried to make an app. They tried to make in I guess Angular, React, but they couldn't make it completely. So that was mostly that time the currently state of Android was in Pratilipy. Then also the users that used to come on our mobile web from an iOS device was like 2% of the total traffic that we had. So it was like not a very thing that we should consider and make an app. But then what happened? So like, why did we make it then? So as our product grew in size, so the audience started to increase also very quickly. So requirements started to arise, and when we used to go to some events or workshops, like people used to come up and say, hey, don't you guys have an iOS app as well? So that was something that we thought, like, yeah, they are right, and we should have an iOS app also, because like it's just a basic thing that we should have. So Then also some user queries also started to pop up. Like we used to get like around 2 to 5 mails per day, stating that there is no iOS app, and the reading experience on the mobile web was not good. So the users were like not comfortable using that. Then the mobile site also didn't suffice all the fulfillment, such as writing and other things as well. Then in one of our monthly all hands, one of our AEM questioned that will we ever come up with an iOS app, as the user queries were coming, and she had to reply to them. Then so I had an idea. So I joined back in June 2019. So I had an idea somewhat of making iOS apps. So I spoke to our VP of engineering, Gauri, that can I make an iOS app? So she was like very happy to see that I was taking some thoughts on that. So we decided to like make it as a weekend hack, and we didn't want our other deployments that were in like that was about to ship, that she didn't want it to anything to be hampered. So we thought, so in early days we used to had some discussions during our weekends. So that discussion was like how to cut the roadmap and how to make only the minimalist app that the user needs, and just not waste so much time on making it. So that was it. And so in the coming weeks we decided on how to like uh, have to set up the tech stack for that. So we decided that it should be written purely in Swift first of all. So because um, it was the new gold standard for that. So we didn't want it to make another React or Angular app. So we want, because our Android app was already up and running fine, so we didn't need any uh, app of such sort. Then we wanted it to be reactive, so we used RX Swift for that. And so that the everything was modular, we use MVVM architecture, view models and stuff. Then since we didn't want it to waste so much time, so we didn't set up any DB or for the local cache in Android, sorry, in iOS. Then we decided how to create the network layer. So we use an open source library called as Moya, which works on Alamofire. Then about the localizations, so there is a somewhat native support in iOS, but that's pretty tedious and like and very hard to like. It is like very verbose, and like you have to do a lot of stuff to make it working. So we also use an open source library known as Localize Swift for that, which is a very lightweight library. Then since there was no designers involved, so in coming weeks, we like in 2 weeks, this was somewhat how the app used to look. It has a basic wireframes. So um, no designers was involved in the process of the development. So we tried to copy and how our current app looks like, and just as how we can pull it off. Then there was no clarity on the UX for iOS, how the user behavior, how the user expects the apps to be. And so that was being done like for the it took for around about a month, like 4 weeks or something. So then how it became a mainstream product. So later my PM of that time, Neetu, came to know that I am taking some time on making an iOS app. So she also got hooked up into it, and then we began a more streamlined development process. So they Neetu, along with our design Anurag from our design team, started working on and deciding on how the first version of the app is supposed to be like. The first version is supposed to include all the things our mobile web has to offer, along with the so so we decided to just have a basic thing what the mobile web has to offer. That included our main goal, that was reading. We didn't The most important thing that we decided to not include in the first version was the writer, because we firstly, in the first version, the MVP of the app, we wanted to just to surface the reading part for the users. So we decided divided everything in 3 phases. which was to, depending on the, so firstly was to begin with the home screen, then along with login, and then the reading part, and then notifications and other small stuff such as events and other things. So the three phases were divided like so, so that the a portion of the app was completed and the QA can already and test it. So we didn't have any like iOS devices lying around. So like none of our team members had. So that is why we decided to do a small portion of the app to be tested alongside development, so that it didn't take too much time in the end for the QA to test the app. So we were optimizing for the time and making sure that the release is being done as soon as possible. So as like as it happens in every development phase, so there are some overshooting in deadlines. So what were the problems that we had faced during the development that overshoot our deadlines? So first of all was the Apple developer account. It was a lot of pain when we were supposed to create the developer account for the company. So they require a lot of legal documents, stuff, and for them the verification took around 14 days. We couldn't launch a beta app till that time being, and then after that 14-day verification also, they used to have there is supposed to be some telephonic verification as well, which I guess the number that was given was Ranjit, so he was not able to pick up some calls, so we were skipping that, and we have to like email them again, and that took some time. Then there were some design iterations. So earlier what the designs we decided was not people were not happy with it, and we had somewhat like a Swiggy based design system in which we wanted our app to look same across Android and iOS and web, and not working something like WhatsApp, that they have a specific user interface for WhatsApp in iOS and separate for in Android. So then we had some backend changes also, since we were not giving all the features in the first app version of the app. So we had to do some backend changes also, which required some major changes like not showing certain parts, not getting certain data for the iOS part of the for iOS, so that the user is only able to see the things that we offer. Then we had a beta launch in around, I think, October, and in 2 weeks we got around 100 plus users in TestFlight. So we launched the beta app using TestFlight, and in that 2 weeks we got 300 reads, and we were pretty happy. So this was like very minimal version in which only the reader was working, and that was like, I think, not very functional. Then we were overshooting our deadlines again, and that took some time because of the translation. So there were some new translations that were required from our language team to be given for the iOS app. And then the App Store policies. So since we already had a beta launch in TestFlight, so we were giving weekly updates to our users, and we were getting those users through our website. So in the website, we used to show some banners that our iOS app is in beta and you can try it out. So thanks to our users who were testing, and we were getting bugs, that helped us to quickly shift to production release. Then the App Store policies were very major. They caused a very major impact. So they rejected our app like around 7 times, which included some changes from Apple, which was most prominently was being sign in with Apple. So they require every app to have a sign in with Apple button if you are providing any social means of logging in the app. Then thanks to Girda for pulling that off in a day with the backend changes. And other requirements that they put up was they asked us the description and the things that for the App Store page, the description were not proper. They asked us to remove the free logo from the app because it was misleading according to them, according to their policies. And they also required a lot of changes in the screenshots. So the screenshot should be of the specific device for the specific screenshots, along with the bigger phones as well, such as the iPhone XS Max and stuff. Then finally, the sign in with Apple, yeah. And then finally on December 8th, we got the app launched, and it was a very satisfying moment for the whole team because that Apple policy changes caused a 2 weeks of delay, and which at that time the team was like very feeling low that the app is ready and we cannot even launch it for the users. The users were also asking, and they were waiting for it. So it was a very satisfying moment for us that finally it was launched, and it's been pretty good and stable since then. And now talking about some analytics till the time it was launched. So in 22 days, we crossed 10K installs, and then we got around 100K reads as well at the same time in 22 days. And on March 10th, we crossed 1 lakh installs, and we have a Play Store rating of 4.8 as of now, the current day I'm speaking, with around 2,300 plus ratings. And we are in the top 10 section in books in App Store, and we have remained consistently till the time we have launched it. And that was pretty much it since we launched it. And now talking about the future of the app, so we are missing a lot of features considering what the Android app has to offer. So we have new member in our team who will be working alongside to provide all the features that we have in Android, such as the writer and P2P system that we have, along with other things. That was all the complete journey of how we pulled off an iOS app, and happy to answer any questions.
Hi Ayush, Aryan this side.
Yeah, hi, Arjun.
एक ही question है. I just wanted to know why did you choose to go with the reactive Swift in the very first place to build the app? Very simple one.
So I'm an Android developer. So we use a lot of RX Java in our code, and I was very comfortable with how the reactive programming works, and I'm a very huge fan of it. Since like in Android we have view models and live data, so RX was the only thing that could provide such a feature for the development. So like I really like the way concept of observing something, and so there is a very less coupling between the modules. So that is why I went with reactive programming.
Okay, cool. Answers my question. Thank you.
Hi Ayush, Avinash this side.
Hi, Avinash.
Yeah, so you told that there were some changes on the backend.
Yeah.
So how different was it? So for example, let's take the homepage response. So how does the homepage response differ between Android and iOS?
Yeah, so some widgets have to be removed, like audio, discussions, live serial, and this. Like these were some widgets that we didn't wanted to show to the users, and that was the change. Along with we needed a new domain, and along with the report system that has to be changed for iOS because some features were missing for that. So we had a different reporting system for that, and that was, I guess that would out I could recall it. Mohit worked on all the stuff along with Rahul, so thanks to them. Other than that, I don't recall any other change that was required.
Okay, so maybe Mohit and Rahul can answer. So what exactly did we change at the backend level?
Yeah, so mostly the things were like things that we don't in the response changes so that they are different and they don't like the things that we were missing in and iOS, such as also like some banners related to events that goes to the event activity, because we didn't have a writer, so we didn't want events to show up that AEMs provide in the app. They provide daily. Idea works for one thing, and so these things were like from the home init response, they were changed. So mostly things were like what is not available in the iOS app, so that was removed from backend response. That's it.
Okay, so this was done at PAG level or was it done at init level?
Okay, after that. So there are quite few things which we need to be done. First of all, tag attaching a proper header for like we have Android, like we attach a client header of Android and web and iOS. So like that we attach a header for iOS. In init level, we handled for the homepage response and different. We added support for different type of lists. For client being client agnostic, like iOS will have different homepage than Android, and it will have different navigation list, or it will have different banners than Android or something else.
Right.
So that support was added doing that. Except that notification support was added to send notifications out to iOS users, only relevant notifications and not all notifications. So yeah, I guess those were the things which I recall right away. I can recall right away.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you, Mohit.
Yeah, one more question that you had. So what is the DAU on iOS? I mean,
The DAU is around 6,000 per day, 5 to 6,000.
and the MAU?
MAU is around, I think, 12 or 28,000. I don't remember.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Ayush, Roshan here. Just some learnings that you had. So, say suppose you want to build the whole thing again from scratch today. Anything that you have done differently?
Definitely. So right now the views that I have made for the app, so they are like rewritten every time for the screen. So what I could have made like a view factory or something, so that they give the specific view that the requirement is for that particular screen. So that would have like reduced the code very much. And other than that, maybe a small thing that I realized after working. So I didn't know the use of guard statements, like the power of Swift, I guess, was fully not utilized. So as and when I was working and developing on it, so I going through blogs and going through open source projects. So those things I realized over time, and I have started to like use them like after like what the changes or fixes that I'm doing right now. I am optimizing in that way. So these are the small things that could have been made better. Other than that, I also have like around not much experience in making iOS apps, but like the things that I've learned that could have been adopted in the if I would have to start something new.
Got it. Thank you, man.
Yeah. So the monthly active user is around 37K. Thank you, Shirley, for pointing it out.
Hey, Ayush, I have a question.
Yeah, hi, Girdhar.
Hey, you worked on both iOS and Android, right?
Yeah.
So what is the fundamental difference? Is there, if any, a fundamental difference between these two platforms for the engineering, for the development?
I don't feel any like difference in iOS or Android. Like the methodology and the everything, the whole graphical user interface, those things only changes like the SDK and stuff. But the main things like the views and everything, they are almost same. And just that key, and in Android we have a lot of tools and that Google provides us with, so to ease the development. But I guess 80 to 70% is it's almost same. Like the way of the flow of the code and the logics, they are basically same, and like it's very accommodating. Like you can like easily switch to a different OS like version, or making it's not that much big of a deal. Just take some few learning, so you can like adapt from what you have learned in Android. You can use, so like for me it was an Android developer making an iOS app. So for me it was more like I learned about something, so I relate it with how Android has to do with that. So it helps me to understand how it is actually working, and I can correlate it to that, and so I can like easily make on it or work on it. So, and while I was making iOS app also, so I also got to know the our how or the our full Android app, as well as I was going through all things like how it was working. Like I was working on reviews, so I had to go through the full review section part of the app on Android, because I was not requiring any APIs per se. I was just going through the Android code and how it did it. So I was just modifying it for iOS.
Okay. So anything explicit or in terms of memory management or the CPU consumption?
No, so yeah, so these things both have a same type of like memory management. So Android uses Java's garbage collection, and in this Swift we have ARC. But, so like basically they work on the same thing, and we usually you don't have to worry about all that. Like if you are making a simple app, just in sometimes like you have to do some background stuff, and then you might have to look into it and look into through the SDK. So the Apple documentation is pretty like well versed, and like you can easily understand how to do certain things, and the community itself is like really good for Swift. So it's been like I think 6 or 5 years till they have launched it. And so the also, so I didn't use the interface builder for in iOS that they have. I use purely Swift because Swift UI was about to launch, and so it is also like written in code. So the whole UI we write in code, like we can design through Layout Inspector. So in Xcode you can also use layout files, but that is like not. I read about it that it causes some issue when the project becomes huge and a lot of developers join in. So it causes a lot of merge conflicts and stuff. So I chose to write purely in Swift.
Okay.
So that is the difference in both of them.
Okay.
If anyone have any more questions, they can directly reach out to Ayush then. Thank you, Ayush. It was really nice presentation.
Thank you, Cherry.
Of iOS. And now this is my song.
Is it from latest WDC, the presentation?
No, I didn't get any template, but I tried to.
This looks like totally Apple representation. Dark background, light and bold text. Properly Apple.
मर गया ऊपर रे गुजरिया पे लोटन कबूतर रे पंछी दीवाना पाए जहाँ जाना आए वो ये मुड़ मुड़ के अटरिया अटरिया पे लौटन कबूतर रे,
अरे चढ़ गया ऊपर रे अटरिया पे सोना का